Democrats might be thinking about giving Elon Musk a congressional gold medal. We're not talking about a congressional medal of honor. That's only for military people, but there's also a congressional gold medal. Maybe a liberal Democrat should give that to Elon Musk for what he's doing to finally get people to get to work and making sure Social Security isn't cut in the future. All right, so we're going to talk about that today, and how do I come up with that logic? And if you follow me a little bit, you'll understand where I'm going here. This is also a live Q&A. I've already got tons of questions. I'll talk about what's going on with Congress and with Elon Musk and future Social Security cuts, and I'll do that. It should take about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to open it up and answer as many questions as I can for the rest of the hour on all things Social Security retirement. So if you got any questions, looks like I already got a bunch of questions in there about when people should file for retirement. Should they file for disability? What about spouse benefits? Am I receiving the correct check? Got lots of questions there, so I'll get to as many as I possibly can. Okay, so everybody that regular viewers to my channel know that Social Security, the trust fund is running out. So we've got this much coming in every year at FICA taxes and taxes on Social Security and interest on the trust fund. This much comes in every year, but right now that much goes out, and it's called the baby boom, right? So, but the baby boomers also put savings away. They put $2.7 trillion of savings into the trust fund. That's their savings. So this much comes in, that much goes out. What's covering the gap? The trust fund. But the problem is that trust fund is slowly being depleted. Obviously, savings don't last forever, right? So in about 2033 or 2034, we're going to get cuts across the board. Everybody's going to get cuts. That's the way the law is. If this much comes in and there's no, savings to cover that gap, then that's how much goes out. So that much can't go out. That much has to go out. And that means there's going to be cuts for everybody in 2033, 2034. Congress, both parties, I try to be fair here, liberal Democrats, Republican Democrats, independents, middle of the road, I don't care who you are, you failed. This should have been taken care of 10, 20, 30 years ago. In the 1980s, they set up the trust fund, they did a bunch of changes, they increased the retirement age to 67, and they did a lot of things, but one of the big things they didn't miss is one of the things they missed was they didn't realize how much money was going outside of Social Security in terms of FICA. If you make this year under $176,100, that means you pay every dollar you make, you pay 6.2% into FICA, the Social Security part of FICA. If you make over $176,100, you are exempt for that. Any amount over $176,100. So if you make $1 million, you only paid on $176,000. So that's the issue that they didn't see in the 1980s, is that wages for everybody would be so stagnant, but people that made money made tons of money. So a lot of that money that used to come to us workers goes to the top, and it's exempt from FICA tax. So that's the issue they didn't realize was going to be that bad, that inequality, that much going to the top. And that's why the trust fund and FICA and everything is all messed up. So we've known about that for about 10 or 20 years, and politicians should have gotten on the job and did it, but they haven't. There's the numbers right there. And if you disagree, you can look at my YouTube description. In my YouTube description, it has the Social Security Trustees report and the Congressional Budget Office and the actuary and all that, so you can check the numbers. So they haven't acted. They've said they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and they're going to give us a stimulus and then give us extra money and yada, yada, yada. But the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is cuts about 21% by 2033, 2034. So obviously they haven't done anything. But now Elon Musk and the Doge and everybody comes along and they get their fingers into Social Security and they start messing around and they threaten it. They threaten to close it down one day, and they cut all this staffing. And finally, so Democrats, kind of finally wake up. There's part of the political parties that want to get rid of Social Security. That's been a reality since 1935. They want to privatize it. Some countries in the world have a private Social Security, or the money is put into the stock market or real estate or something like that. The United States is not like that. We put it into treasury bonds, super safe treasury bonds, the most safe, the safest instrument, financial instrument in the world. So, but some people say, yes, it should be privatized. A vast majority, 80% plus of people said it shouldn't be privatized. So Democrats have always said that we don't want to privatize it. We want to make it better, but they've never really, kind of joined the fight. Now, guess what? Thanks to Elon Musk, they are really, really joining the fight. So I've got the Social Security War Room has just opened. So I'm going to show a quick clip about the founding of the new Social Security War Room, which should have been started about 20 or 30 years ago, but I guess, better late than never, right?
Here today because billionaire Elon Musk and billionaire Donald Trump don't know what it feels like to rely on a Social Security check. They don't know and they don't care. So they are trying to rip away those Social Security checks so they can help fund tax breaks for billionaires. Trump and Musk know that they don't have the votes in Congress to cut Social Security. So instead, they're trying backdoor cuts by dismantling the agency that makes sure that Americans get the benefits they are legally entitled to. Musk is cutting off phone services for seniors who need help. Musk is shutting down offices around the country. Musk is firing thousands of workers who make sure that the Social Security system works and that checks go out to the people who are legally entitled to receive them. And when there's a mistake and when someone can't get that mistake corrected and start their Social Security benefits on time, that is a benefits cut. Every one of those changes is effectively a backdoor cut to the benefits that the law guarantees to every Social Security recipient. Trump and Musk can't cut benefits directly, so they think they can get away with indirect cuts, but Democrats are here to fight them every step of the way. And we should be asking the richest Americans to contribute a fair share to the program. It is time to fight for Social Security. We can protect Social Security from Trump and Musk's greed and build a future where everyone in this nation can retire with dignity.
Thank you. 20 years kind of late to start a war room and finally fight, but okay. They've been trying to do it, but obviously, again, it's the results aren't there because the cuts are going to happen. So it's on both sides. There's Republicans, tried to shore up Social Security, and Democrats try to shore up Social Security. But I don't care, what political party they are. They obviously didn't, because the customer service has been bad for a long time. Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing, and that was before the Doge cut. So now it's even worse. So, before the Doge cuts, there was about a 3-hour wait to get in on the phones. Now all bets are off. Okay, so some of the things. So, welcome to the party. That's why I put a Dr. Strangelove in there, or George C. Scott, his famous line, there's no fighting in the war room. Well, hopefully there's a little bit of fighting on this, and they fight for Social Security and they shore it up so we don't get cuts in the future. So that's what we're hoping, that both sides go out there and actually fight. All right. So some of the things she talked about, the offices closing. I've heard various reports about offices closing. Social Security has closed offices, on a regular basis. They've moved and they've ended their lease. A lot of the office closings that I've seen so far are just not customer facing. They are like an OIG, which is the Office of the Inspector General, or some other type of, disability examiner type office or something like that. So it's not really like a district office. In my office, I ran the third business Social Security office in the country, and we had co-located in the same building one of those old Social Security card centers, kind of an overreaction to 9/11, that they established several separate card centers. And that was always a stupid idea. Luckily, we finally got rid of that card center. So we shut down that office. But we just, brought the employees next door, and they did Social Security cards in the regular field office. So most of the offices that they were talking about closing. I know there were some in Oklahoma that an Oklahoma senator or congressperson, fought for to keep open. Doge is in charge of the GSA. They're in charge of Social Security Administration. They're in charge of GSA now, and GSA is the one that actually does leases. So, but as of right now, most of the offices they're talking about, 47 offices closing. Those are not really, customer facing, but what Elizabeth Warren misses is, because she's not a Social Security type person, well, she doesn't know the super details. Even if an office isn't closed, it could effectively be closed for you. And why is that? Because Social Security offices are broken up into the staff that take claims. They're broken up into two programs, Title II and Title 16. Before I became a manager, I was a Title II claim specialist. Title II of the Social Security Act. Those are the people in the office that do retirement claims, surviving spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, and Medicare. And then you've got another group of people in that particular office that does SSI. SSI is the welfare-based program the Social Security administers, Social Security Supplemental Security Income. Okay, so maybe your local office is, the doors are open, but you go in there and there might not be anybody that can help you out with your particular problem. They might only have SSI, the Title 16 people there, but you need a Title II person. So yeah, and because there was no rhyme or reason for these thousands of people throughout the country to be kind of, voluntold, as we used to say in the Marine Corps, to leave the premises, some offices are going to have a very, very, very difficult time. I've already getting reports. I'm sure I'd get some reports today in today's live Q&A that I filed for benefits 3 months ago, and it should be a regular retirement benefits. How long does it take? Well, under normal circumstances, it would take a week. But now the person that had your case, might have let go, and now they need to find someone else to, adjudicate or process your particular retirement case. So that's one of the issues. And in terms of benefit cuts, she is correct. We are getting reports every single day of backdoor benefit cuts. But luckily, I teach people on this channel. That's why you need to subscribe and share and like and all that kind of good stuff, so this information goes out there, that there are insider tips, tricks, and secrets to kind of avoid the benefit cuts. So I talk about those in terms of retirement benefits, disability, survivors, and all the rest of it. So particularly Medicare this time of year. So people are getting 11,000 people are turning 65 every day, and that's Medicare time right there. So if you're losing your Medicare, then yeah, you definitely need to make sure you prepare. Okay. All right. So welcome to the fight. So that's why I think the Congress should give Elon Musk and Doge a congressional gold medal and say thank you for finally getting us together and focusing on the important problem of making sure there are no cuts in Social Security in the future. So I think Elon Musk and Doge has done everybody a great service. And as I've talked about in a lot of the videos I've done over the last few days, he's also done a great service in terms of getting rid of all the BS. He started a bunch of BS himself, new BS, but he's getting rid of a lot of the BS. Again, the 20 million Social Security number of deceased people, he's getting rid of that one because he's shown that those people aren't receiving any money. You look on the Doge website, it says, hey, we've cleared up a million of those and we've saved zero, because as regular viewers to my channel know, that's not where the money comes from. The database he's looking at, zero money has come out of there since 1935. So, and the whole thing about the Social Security Trust Fund being stolen, he hasn't reported that. So that means that's good. The whole thing about illegal alien, I'm going to do one on, illegal immigrants. They're trying to hash up, trying to start hatred of foreigners, immigrants coming into this country, even though it's interesting. So I'm going to do another video probably tomorrow, the next day, on that, the new thing they're coming up with him and his sidekick, Antonio Gracias, that are coming up with some idea that, illegal aliens are stealing all our money. And the logic these guys are using is just, you got to laugh at it. It's just so just obviously completely false on the face of it. If you fall for it, then yeah, I can't help you. All right, so let's go ahead and move into some questions here. I found 4 years of my earning records that show less than my 1040 tax returns. What do I need to do to correct this? Yeah, if that's less than your tax returns, then you probably didn't file your taxes correctly, because Social Security gets the information. So number one, Stephen, great job on checking that. That's what a lot of people miss, and they Social Security determines how much you're going to get for the rest of your life on retirement, or your spouse, or surviving spouse, or disability, or whatever, based on what you actually paid into Social Security. So you need to check your earnings record, which is exactly what you're doing. Go into SSA.gov, set up a My Social Security account, all that stuff. So you're doing right there, and make sure those earnings are correct. Because Social Security only gets what the IRS, because you don't tell Social Security directly how much you made in what particular year. You file your taxes, and then once you do your taxes, and Social Security says, or IRS tells Social Security what you paid into taxes. So maybe some of the earnings that you have had those years were not subject to FICA taxation. So some earnings, you pay income taxes, and some earnings you also pay FICA, but there's some earnings that you pay income taxes, and part of it you don't pay FICA. So that's an issue. Or you're a 1099er and you didn't include all of you work for several companies and you didn't include your other 1099. So I would definitely check out that. That would make sense that Social Security got the information for your 1040, but it was incorrect. Those are probably two of the issues that I would definitely check out. Maria, only if I get my Social Security, I'll watch you. My name is Maria. I don't have enough money to move. Now I'm home. Wow. Remember, there are different programs for Social Security that Social Security administers. So obviously retirement benefits, everybody knows retirement benefits. You can start at 62 years old. Spouse benefits, you can start at 62. If you're a surviving spouse, you can start surviving spouse benefits at 60 years old. If you're disabled, a disabled widow, you can get it from 50 to 59. But if you're disabled, any age, you can start your benefits at any age if you're disabled. Even if you didn't pay into the system, it's called the SSI, Supplemental Security Income. Obviously, as the sidekick of Elon Musk, he's going on TV and he said illegals are receiving, full max benefits, which is completely incorrect. You have to prove that you're in the country legally to get SSI, but you also have to be disabled to get SSI, or aged 65 and older. So if you're Maria, if you're not insured on your own record for whatever reason, but you're disabled or you're at least 65 years old, I would definitely reach out to Social Security and see what they can do to help you out. And there's other programs too: Medicaid, food stamps, Section 8 housing. The list for Section 8 housing is unfortunately way too long. But Deborah, I am 70 years old on Social Security. My partner is 62 and not working. We live together. Should he apply for Social Security? And if yes, how will that affect my Social Security? So you have to be married, unless it's a common law state. So if so you're receiving Social Security and he is 62 years old, so he has to file for benefits on his own record first. Again, have to be married, or if there's a common law state, Social Security goes by the state laws. So whatever the state says, if the state considers you married, then Social Security has to consider you married. So he has to file for benefits on his own record. And then if your benefits are twice his benefit amount, then he can apply for benefits on his record. So I would definitely tell him, if he wants the money to start, then call up Social Security or go online and get it started. Colleague turning 70 June 16th. I told her to file for max benefits to start at August. Yes. No. 70. So she turned 70 on June 16th. The benefits stop increasing because of the delayed retirement credits at the month you turn 70. So she should start her benefits in June. And yes, she'll get her first check in July. So that it always comes a month late. So yes. So call up about, now. Call up now and set up an appointment, or go online, or whatever the case may be, and then she'll get the max delayed retirement credits, which is the extra 24% possibly. You get 8% every year after your full retirement age of those delayed retirement credits. Linda, what's up, Linda? Survivor benefits, are they getting the same money being spoken about? Survivor benefits spoken about. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're talking about out there. Oh, good evening, Dr. Weir and everyone. Today is Autism Day. Oh, Purple Love, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I did a video. Autism Oklahoma reached out to me a few months ago and asked I do a video and answer some questions. So I did that. And so hopefully Purple Love found out about my channel through that video I did today. So yes, please reach out, support. Was it my wife is addicted to that show? Was it Love on a Spectrum? Yeah, we watch that every single episode. So my sis is on SSDI since January. She has not received the back SSDI yet. She is on long-term care Medicaid. Will she have to claim this as a current income when she gets it? If she does, she will lose her long Medicaid. Okay, so in terms of the back pay, so she just started in January. So it's been a couple of months. It takes a little while, particularly now. But yeah, I would reach out to Social Security and say, hey, what's going on with the back pay? And in terms of the other part of your question, that's more of an IRS thing. Yeah. And then, Medicaid, because Medicaid is a, means tested program. If all of a sudden she gets, 10, 20, $30,000 in the, the bank, then, Medicaid, yeah, will have an issue with it. But Medicaid, they can look at that as a kind of an exception. Hey, this is, money for back pay. And, and they have kind of what's called a spin down, where you say, she was borrowing money from people for the past year or 2 years while she was waiting for SSDI. She, had to, she needs to fix her car. She's been putting that off, and now she's finally approved, and she's got all that money that needs to go out. So yeah, I would reach out to the Medicaid people and make sure that she's doing everything right. So let's see, 68-year-old. Completed 25 contributions, resigned to move to California in 1995 to care for more than 2 grandbabies, 0 contributions from 96 to 2024, working now under W-2. What to do to increase my Social Security benefit? Yeah, pretty much what you're doing now. That's basically, you see a lot of clickbait videos out there on how to maximize your Social Security benefits, increase your Social Security benefits, and then you click on it and they tell you, work more and work longer. It's like, wow, you're a genius. But that's pretty much it. To increase your Social Security benefit years on your own record, make more money, work more. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But the issue is people are filing at the wrong time, and they're not checking that record, and they're filing for the wrong benefit, and they're missing, if you're survivor benefits and spouse benefits, and how to fight with it, how to fight Social Security and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of your own benefit amount can increase, based on those 2 things. Obviously, COLA, cost of living allowance. And remember, people think once they file, then their benefit won't increase anymore. That's incorrect. So even after you file, if you continue to work and pay into Social Security, your benefit, if that's one of your high 35 years of earnings, then your benefit amount will continue to increase. So if you're 85 years old and you're receiving Social Security benefits and you're working, and this year is one of your high 35 years of earnings, the next year when Social Security learns about that, they will automatically do a calculation. It's 100% automatic, and they will look at it and they say, hey, here's Marissa's 35 years of earnings. Oh, this last year was one of our high ones. So we'll throw out a low one, stick in the new high one, recalculate, and you get your extra benefits. So thank you, Dr. Weir. Mr. Weir, you are really on top of this, and you're so appreciated. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Me says, good question, Tess. I can't get up. I can't go back up to the farther one. Sorry, I've got a small little window here. I see questions. So I just basically, yeah. My state is blood red. I moved here from Massachusetts, and I really miss Elizabeth Warren. I mean, you got to admit, she's always been out for Social Security. She's always, Bernie Sanders and her have always been, because Social Security. People hate to hear it, but it was started during the, the New Deal, the Great Depression. It is, FDR, and why he started it is kind of a different reason. But anyway, but yeah, they've always been, supporters of Social Security, and doing, raising the FICA cap and all that other kind of stuff. Have they been effective? Well, no, because it hasn't been privatized, so I guess that's effective. But yeah, the cuts are going to happen. Because of high income until December 2024, I have to pay a higher premium for Medicare. Yep, no longer working, I had to take dollars from IRA. Will IRA distributions be counted as income for my Medicare cost? Okay, so you can get that addressed. So file an SSA 44. That's a life-changing event. So basically you're saying, yeah. I had higher earnings 2 years ago, and that's what that IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amount, that's what that's based on. Yes, I had high earnings 2 years ago, but since then I've stopped working, and that's called a life-changing event. So download the SSA 44, send it into the Social Security, take it down there, whatever you have to do. And then once they process that, then if they approve it, then whatever you paid, January, February, March, April, however long it takes them, they will return that money, and you'll just get charged the regular $185. Office closings were scheduled under Biden. Guess you're partially correct. Yeah, I know there were some offices in California that were moving. Yes. So, but office closings? No. I mean, but yeah, offices close all the time. There's offices that had one that was up in the Bay Area that was kind of, built over a sewer system, and all the other tenants, the private businesses left, and the Social Security office was the last one in the building in that, structure. And so I think they moved. So, Bella, I answered a bunch of your questions yesterday, so sorry. I'm going to get to some new people. Cory Booker given a 28-hour speech in Congress. Epic. The face spray painting clown has to go. When I watched a little bit of that, I heard a little bit about that, and I was like, I need to do. I did one on last Thanksgiving. Tried to, I tried to do kind of a marathon. So yeah. So I might have to do that again in the future sometime. So all right, looks like we got name calling here. Pocahontas is delusional. If you believe her, you have much bigger problems. By the way, Musk can't cut anything. He is only an advisor. More fake news. Okay, but can't cut anything. But he's doing. And everybody's scared of him because of X and all he's the richest man in the world. And yes, technically he can't do anything. He can't do anything, but everything he says miraculously happens, right? So when online updated my email and apply for new Social Security card, got it 10 days later, just in the last 2 weeks. Apply for new. Yes, good, Charles. Yes, Social Security had been working on that for a super long time, where you can get a replacement Social Security card online. So it's not a Social Security card where you have a name change or a new one or anything like that, where you need to correct your name or something, or correct your date of birth, but just you've got a Social Security number, you've got a Social Security card, and you lost it or you washed it or whatever, and you just need a replacement. You can actually do that online. And what happens is you do it online. And then most states, I think all 50 states are now part of this. It took a long time to get all the states in. But what happens is the Social Security computer system talks to your state database, your DMV, and that's how they confirm your identity and stuff like that. And then if everything works out well, then they send your card automatically in the mail. So it's a pretty good system. So Kiva, thank you, Dr. Ed, for this important information. Some people don't realize that when you get to an age, they might not SSI. This is not a jokey matter. Yeah, that's and that's one of the strategies that have been used for a long time is, put fear in the minds, don't trust that Social Security is going to be there in the future of the young people. And that way it's easier to go in there and, say, hey, well, it's not going to be there anyway, so let's just go ahead and get rid of it and give all those trillions of dollars to our buddies at Wall Street and stuff. So, and now it is, well, Social Security is just ripe with fraud, and it's given out to illegals, and it's given out to Ukraine, and whatever the case may be. So it's kind of the scare tactics now, to say, hey, it's just it's all decrepit. But you've noticed that Elon Musk and Doge still hasn't found any fraud in terms of Social Security. The 20 million cards or whatever, zero money. They've said, oh yeah, there's no money coming out of there. Is there fraud in Social Security? Of course, but it's not the type of fraud they're looking at. They want to see one thing, that they can find billions of dollars so they can pay for tax cuts. But anyway, they want to find something that they can push a button and supposedly save billions of dollars. You can't do that with Social Security. Social Security fraud is one-on-one. It's individual people working while they're receiving disability benefits. It's individual people working while, earning over the annual earnings limit in their early retirement. And, it's just a one-on-one type of, and then if you fire all the employees, then, that one-on-one fraud, research is not done. So, yeah. Generic, does the VA count as creditable prescription coverage? And if so, does that mean a veteran can get a Part D plan later without a penalty? No, it does not, unfortunately. But one of the good things about the VA is the VA, unlike Medicare, is allowed, well, Medicare just recently, are enabled to negotiate prescription drug prices. They've started with their first 10. That might change once Dr. Oz comes in to be the boss of Medicare. But anyway, the Veterans Administration can negotiate drug prices. So most veterans, if you're using, obviously TRICARE, that's a slam dunk. But if you're using like the VA clinic or something, then most veterans use the VA to get their drugs. But it's not considered creditable coverage, unfortunately. So you can get it later. Yes, you can get it later, but you're probably going to pay a penalty for it. So, and the penalty is 1% for every month you did not have it. And the 1% of the premium, the average national premium. It's a weird calculation how they do that. Jeff, Dr. Ed, much appreciation for your teachings. I am on SSDI at 61 since June of 24. After 2 years on SSDI and switching to Social Security, can I start to work up to the earnings limit? Will CDRs continue? Okay, so you're going to be on SSDI as long as you're disabled, as long as you want to be, and until you hit your full retirement age. Once you hit your full retirement age, 67 probably for you, then you're going to be switched to regular retirement benefits. So you'll get the same amount, everything, you won't even notice the change. But right now you're on SSDI. And then once you get Medicare after being on Social Security disability insurance for 2 years, yes, you will get Medicare. Then you have to find how to cover the gaps, a bunch of gaps on Original A and Part B. So you can call by the way, chapter there. They're the ones that sponsor this live Q&A. So I'm here to help you out. Yes, you can work while you're receiving disability benefits. There's called the trial work period, where you can work as much as you want to see if you're able to work and maybe get off disability, which is good for you and everybody. But you can work up to, there's a couple of limits. There's a 9-month trial work period limit, which this year is $1,160. And then after that, then every month you go over SGA, the substantial gainful activity, then that month stops. And this year, the substantial gainful activity is $1,620. So, and will CDRs continue? Yes. So, until you are no longer on disability. My wife worked for Social Security for 40 years. Oh, Bob, what's up, Bob? And received only 6 months retro. Is this correct, or should it be back to January? Please help. So are we talking about, is she under the old system, the CSRS? And so her benefit amount was WEPT, windfall elimination provision. So yeah, I would definitely, if that's the case, I would have her reach out and, find out what's going on. If she's talking about the Social Security Fairness Act that was supposed to go back to January of 2024, then yeah, if she's been receiving benefits before that time, then she should get her benefits going back to January 2024. Yes, funny and interesting about hatred for immigrants when Musk is an immigrant and Trump has a Russian wife and Vance is married to a woman from India. It's very interesting. It's funny. the people that they're going on the news media now, these two guys, Musk and Gracias, Antonio's, his father's from Goa, India, his mother's from Spain. He was born in the United States in Michigan, but he said all his brothers and stuff were born overseas. But they're going on to all these channels and talking about this. And it's funny. This is my take on the video I'm going to do. I'm thinking of how to do the thumbnail and stuff, but it's, so by his arguments, by his crazy logic, then his company in particular, like Mar-a-Lago, Tesla, they have thousands of people that are, non-citizens receiving Social Security cards. And supposedly once that happens, you get max benefits. I'm not sure what that means. And these people are on Medicaid. So according to him, if we use his own strange, crazy logic, then Tesla, young 30-year-old engineers from India working at Tesla in San Francisco are getting $5,000 a month from Social Security and Medicaid. And that's obviously not true, but if we use his logic against him, that's what he's arguing. So it's crazy. It's just, if it wasn't so depressing, it would be funny. Steve, my partner is working full-time and collecting Social Security. They have held his Social Security now. They can't tell him when it will restart. What can be done? Yeah, if you've reached out to the local Social Security office and you're not getting any movement whatsoever, then, politicians are the reason Social Security is not answering the phone. Politicians have refused to or not been able to support Social Security for the last few decades. It's not only now. That's why Social Security has an old computer system that they've been trying to upgrade forever. And Congress keeps saying, no, no, no. Social Security says, hey, we've got, baby boomers coming in and we need more staff to help these baby boomers and answer the phones. And Congress says, no, 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 no. So this is all 100% politicians' fault. And because, one of the reasons we haven't held their feet to the fire. So thank you, Elon Musk, for finally bringing this to the forefront and, getting us activated. Americans always need an enemy, right? So call your politicians. That's the reason. So you can call your politicians and do what's called a congressional. A congressional is congressional interest. You call your congressional senator, House representatives. You go onto their website. On all of their websites, they have a little button where you can click. It says, "I need help with a federal agency." You fill it out, send it in, and they will forward it to Social Security in Baltimore, the headquarters in Baltimore, and then it'll go to your local office. And hopefully, you will get, if there's anybody left in your local office that are able to do that, then they will put that on the top of their very, very high stack. So divorced, Sue, what's up, Sue? Divorced, married, 20, draw my SSDI on my husband. What options at retirement? He is behind in alimony but no longer works. If I garnish his Social Security, it will hurt my SSDI. I draw off him. Okay, so you receive SSDI on your husband. No, that's incorrect because he is still out there alive and kicking. And the only way you can receive SSDI off of a spouse is if that spouse is deceased, okay, or your parent. So that's not the case. So you're receiving SSDI on your own benefits, on your own work record. You may also be receiving spouse benefits. A lot of people miss this and therefore lose a lot of money. You can receive disability benefits on your own record and also receive spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits. On top of that, one offsets the other, but you can receive that on top of that. So in terms of garnishing and that will hurt your SSDI, then Social Security won't do anything. He might say, okay, hey, because you're getting this, I'm going to give you less alimony, whatever the case may be. But Social Security, they don't garnish, they don't do what you're talking about. So, oh, Lucy, thank you for the support. $9.99. Thank you. Coffee IV for the day. My daughter was on and off SSI because of my income. Now I'm 53 and she gets SSDI. She's turning 18 in September. Is she eligible for SSI or Medicare? So, okay, so she was receiving SSI and SSDI. So probably, but you're 53, so she must be receiving SSDI. Okay, wait a second. She's 18 years old. She just obviously didn't work unless she's a child actor or something, and she paid into Social Security, and she's receiving SSDI on her own record. That has happened, but probably not in your case. So she is receiving SSDI either off of your record as a disability benefit or her father's record. So I'm assuming this. You're 53, so if it's from you, then you must be receiving disability, and she's receiving spouse benefit or child benefits. And then, so if she's probably receiving just regular child benefits if you're receiving disability. Okay, there's a lot to the story. I'm trying to, taking my millions of times of help people out like this, I'm trying to read between the lines. So she's turning 18. So what will probably happen is, because she's just receiving benefits off of your record or her father's record, because she's under the age of 18. So what happens is, when she turns 18, she needs to file a disability claim, yes, a new one, to make her a DAC, a disabled adult child. Okay. And is she eligible for SSI? It depends on how much her DAC benefits are, her benefits from a disabled adult child. If it's over, the SSI amount, which is $967 this year, then she's not. Is she eligible for Medicare? Yes. If once she's on disability SSDI for 2 years, then yes, she is eligible for Medicare. So if she's already been on it for a year or two, then she's probably going to get her Medicare card in the mail here pretty soon. And then you can reach out to Chapter, and they can help out filling all the gaps in there. So, Wendy, I was given a winning lottery ticket for $10,000 a few days ago. If I cash this in, will it affect my SSDI benefits? No, it will not, because you said SSDI. So even if it was $1 billion, it would not affect your SSDI. You can you can win as much as you want on SSDI, because SSDI is not a means tested program. SSI, the supplemental security income, the welfare-based program, is. If you made money on that, then yes, you would have to notify them and all that kind of good stuff. But SSDI, no, Social Security doesn't care. So go do it again. Come back, buy me a beer. Does SSA benefit qualify for WEP? I have some years working for the county, but I have not received any back pay yet, nor increase in my monthly. Does SSA benefit qualify for WEP? So, all right. So you work for the county, and if you're receiving Social Security benefits, when you file for Social Security benefits, they asked you if you were receiving a non-covered pension, or you will receive a non-covered pension from the county you worked at. If you are not receiving a pension from that county, and that county didn't pay into Social Security, then it's not an issue. So it's only if you were receiving, you might not have been vested in there or something. So, already answered that one. Dr. Ed, you are the best Social Security information channel on the internet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me see and get some negative questions. I love negative questions. Somebody calling me a name. Come on, somebody call me a name. It's old Marine Corps Sergeant. I like to, anyway. I'm self-employed. If I retire 2 years before full retirement age and want to keep working part-time in my own business, how will they keep up my monthly earnings the first year? Okay, so yeah, when you're self-employed, it's when you're self-employed, it's a nightmare to do anything, to get loans at banks and file taxes and all that kind of stuff. So same thing with Social Security. Okay, so if you're filing 2 years before your full retirement age, then they will ask you straight out. They said, okay, you're filing 2 years. If you're going to file this year, they're going to ask you, are you going to make over $23,400? And if you say, nope, not going to make over, in wages or net income, if your net income for your business is going to be under $23,400, you're good. And then if you say, yes, but I'm going to reduce my earnings, or, income. I'm not going to sell as much, or whatever you're going to do. And then they will switch to the monthly earnings limit, and they'll say, okay, you made $1 billion up until today, but you want to start your Social Security check next month. Starting next month, is your net income going to be under $1,950? And if you say no, it'll be under that, then you're usually good. There's also this thing about how many hours do you work, and the market for that. And Social Security, between you and me, Social Security employees don't have a whole bunch of time to monitor this type of stuff. Many years ago, they used to do these things called QRs, questionable retirement, where someone owned a business and they come in at 63 years old and they say, hey, I want to start my benefits early. And they've been an engineer for 50 years, and they've been making $200,000 as an electrical engineer. And they say, oh, I'm going to start working next month, and I'm going to give my company to my wife, who's younger than I am. And I'm like, so as Social Security employees, we were supposed to say, okay, well, is your wife a electrical engineer? No, she's never really worked. So, okay, that's a questionable retirement. It looks like you're just moving your company so you can get early retirement. And we'd have to investigate those and improve them, and approve them or deny them, or whatever the case may be. But Congress said, yeah, y'all don't have time for that, and you're not experts in that type of stuff. So they just, there is no questionable retirements anymore. So, yeah. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and hit the yes. Thank you, Pink Owl. Thank you very much. Let's see, Anthony. I was denied for SSDI for a work credit that they made a mistake on, and they finally posted it after 10 years. Social Security says I need a federal appeal. How do I go about it? No one seems to know. I'm hoping you do. All right. Yeah. So you've already gone through the process. Yeah, I mean, you can go straight out and bypass, because normally what you have to do is, you get a decision, and then you file reconsideration, and you're denied there. Then you go to the administrative law judge, and then if you're denied there, then you go to the appeals council, and then if you're denied there, then you can go to federal court. But as an American citizen, you have the right to sue anybody at any time. But you pretty much have to do it yourself, unless you want to pay an attorney a whole bunch of money, because that's not one of the things they were going to do, because they're probably not going to make any back pay money on you, it sounds like. So yeah, unfortunately, go to legal centers, go to the American Bar Association in your state, and ask them for pro bono type of lawyers out there that want to do something like that. Possibly go to your university law school, and see if they usually have legal clinics, and see what you can get there. But yeah, that's going to be difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. Chubba Games. I guess the Social Security is finally getting the upgrades they've been asking for since forever, but it's still very, very sketchy. Just hope Social Security survives like this has many times before. Yeah, the upgrade, you're probably talking about the computer system. Yeah, Social Security has been begging Congress for decades. We need to update the Social Security system. It's back, based on 1970s technology. Come on. We need to help people get the baby boomers, but Congress continuously refuses. And now maybe they're going to get it, but if it depends who writes the code. Yeah, we definitely need to watch that. I'm definitely going to watch that. Who's going to be writing the code? We don't want, one of those Superman situations. Remember the old Superman? Was it Richard Pryor? Was that one? Where they stole 1% of every transaction, old Office Space type thing too. So yeah, we need to make sure that it's written for us, not for, You are a .gov clown and clearly don't understand money. Junderstand money. Can't get a worse return than the crappy IOUs that get dropped in the trust. Government doesn't do anything well. SSA has been by inflation forever. Yeah, no, I agree. Clown wise too. But yes, it is the safest instrument in the world. And being the treasury bonds, treasury securities, And anytime it's like super safe like that, yeah, you get a very, very small return. But Daniel, if you have any money in a 401k, then guess what? You are a clown too, because you have treasury securities, you have government bonds. Warren Buffett has government bonds. I'm sure Elon Musk have it. Canada has it. I mean, all these different countries have U.S. treasury securities. Canada, Luxembourg, Japan, China, Saudi Arabia. They've got, well, I don't know about Saudi Arabia, but they've got so much in U.S. Treasury securities because it's the safest thing in the world. And yeah, anytime it's super, super safe, yes, you get a very, very low. I mean, you can go out there and buy Bitcoin and stuff and make tons of money. But yeah, good luck with that. Evelyn, mother still married when husband died, but lived at two different addresses and was not given the 255 for mother after death because they lived at different addresses. Is this correct? Yes. Yeah, that's the lump sum death payment. And if she was receiving benefits on his record, then it was automatic. But if the address is on the MBR, which is where the money comes from, the master beneficiary record, if they were different, sometimes it doesn't kick out the lump sum death payment, because the $255 is supposed to go for funeral expenses. And if you're estranged or no longer living with that person or something, then they assume that you're not going to be taking care of the funeral type thing. But if your mother and your father were just had different addresses, a summer home or a second house or something like that for whatever, or they're in the middle of moving, then yeah, I would say, hey, I'd go back there and say no, they were married and they just had two addresses, so $255. So there's that. Cheryl, turning 65 into the month, plan on working to and hopefully past 67. I do not have to take Part A right now because I have insurance through my employer. That is 100% correct. So you have health insurance through current work, yours or your spouse's, so you have it through yours. And as long as your employer has 20 or more employees, then you're good. You do not have to take Part A. You might want to. I definitely wouldn't take Part B. Why waste $185 if you're happy with your current insurance? But why people take Part A, you don't have to start your money coming in, but you can take Part A. And why people do it is I would check your plan at your company. And if they have like a high deductible for, going into the hospital, like if they have a, $3,000 deductible, Medicare Part A has a $1,676 deductible. There's, it's not an annual deductible. So I would just, maybe compare that. And because, hey, Part A is zero premium anyway. But the one thing I would be careful of is if you're contributing to an HSA, a health savings account, then you have to stop contributing to the health savings account 6 months before you start your Part A. But if you don't want it, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to contact Social Security and tell them, hey, I'm not going to do Part A. I don't want it. Don't start it. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits, then because they will mail it to you automatically. And then, yeah, when you retire at 67 or 77 or 87 years old or whatever, then you just have to provide a couple of forms. One of those is filled out by your employer, and your employer certifies that you did have health insurance from work since you turned 65, and that way you are not penalized at all. So you are good. Let's see here. Elon doesn't make the cuts anyways. Another department does that. He's just auditing, and a judge just said Doge can audit. Okay. Yes. In terms of Social Security, we've had audits. Social Security has had audits pretty much every year. They've come into my office in flying colors. Social Security has passed all 31 audits over the last 31 years with pretty much flying colors. But Brenda, the Department of Defense hasn't. Why is he going into Social Security, spending so much time into Social Security when they passed every audit? But he isn't in the Department of Defense, who hasn't passed an audit. Well, the Marine Corps did pass theirs last year, 2 years ago. So got to throw that one out there. Taken took. Hey, taken. I'm hoping that Cory Booker's renal function is okay at this point. He apparently did not eat or drink the day before to prepare for the filibuster and didn't drink much, if anything. Wow, bad idea. Wow. Let's see here. I've been unable to pay for private conference with you via Linktree. Please advise. Yeah, Linktree. Yeah, I've kind of stopped doing. I've got another. I got you. Yeah, Dr. Christopher. Yeah, I've got your email. My Jackson, who's got just as much as experience in me than I do. She's doing the appointments now, so I can focus on keeping up on the news and kind of trying to save Social Security and doing these videos and stuff like that. So you can schedule an appointment with Mai. She is awesome. She knows everything about all things retirement, survivor benefits, and tons about disability. She was the person Congress people in her state used to go to get stuff taken care of. So she is awesome. Yes, Social Security disability benefits will be paid in April 2025. Yes, they will. Let's see. Yeah, let me throw that as a public service announcement that what you hear in the news about, you have to go down the Social Security Administration, make sure you stop everybody that's going to go jump in the car and go down the Social Security so their Social Security checks will continue. You don't have to do that. That was a misunderstanding. If you're filing a new claim, and they change this, I'm not sure. It's right now it's 3:56 West Coast time, and this is how it is right now until they come out with another change, which I think they're going to come out with another change. But as of right now, the only time you have to go down to the Social Security office is if you're going to change your direct deposit and you can't do it online, or you're going to file for retirement, spouse, divorced spouse, or surviving spouse benefits and can't do it online. Then you can go ahead and do your phone appointment. And then the employee at the time will say, okay, you did your phone appointment. I've got everything. Now you need to come down to the Social Security office and show your ID. So that is a change. So tell people that and if someone's about to, I have to go down to the Social Security Administration and show my ID so I get my April check. No, you do not. So please stop people that are going to waste their time doing that. Are we going to get a stimulus check for SSI and widows benefits? I haven't seen anything in the horizon. The only thing out there is, the Doge dividend. And he even, Elon Musk went on TV recently and said, So there's that. Let's see. So we're pretty much close to the hour. Let me do a couple more questions. Good grief. Why are people saying it's this administration? Didn't Dr. Ed said this has been going on for many years? Yes. I don't hate Musk for looking into our government. It needed examination. Carpenter. Yes, 100%. I agree with you. This did not happen. That's why I say, this has been going on. Elon Musk has kind of pushed everybody to finally focus on Social Security, what they've should have been doing for decades. So it's not Trump's fault alone. It is Trump's fault because he was president for 4 years, and it's Biden's fault, and it's Clinton's fault, and it's Bush's fault, and it's Obama and all politicians for the last 20 or 30 years that just haven't done their job. And that's why we're going to get cuts in the future, and that's why the customer service takes forever. It sucks, and that's been a long time coming. Musk, he could do a lot of positive things if he would stop lying about stuff that's just so easily proven to be a lie. I'm not sure. If there's stuff that actually needs to get fixed in Social Security, and he knows what needs to get fixed. I know whatever needs to get. Regular viewers knows what needs to get fixed, but he just, he's just wasting his. Anyway. Billy, I was on SSDI and did not have a prescription drug plan the whole time I talked with Medicare, as I was about to turn 65 and asked would I still have to pay the penalty if I get the Part D at 65. Because you're in a new, there are some exceptions in there. I would reach out to, someone, Medicare, and just, pick a plan and sign up for it, because you have to do it anyway. But you probably won't be able to do it until October now. But I would reach out, to whoever helped you out, or you can reach out to Chapter. They're like super experts on that. And they will look in your particular case and see if there's anything in there where you've got a new initial enrollment period, and it really depends when you started your SSDI and everything. But that's what a lot of people miss, is particularly when they sign up for a Medicare supplement plan, the N or the G, Medigap, same thing. Those don't come with prescription drug plans bundled in them. And a lot of people don't sign up for Part D, and they say, well, I don't take drugs, I don't need it, so forget about it. And no, even if you don't take drugs or prescriptions at that time, if you don't get it, you're going to be penalized later. So there's unfortunately a lot of people that are going to be surprised that they're going to be penalized for not having Part D. So you really need to check that out. So it's not as big as the penalty for Part B, as in, boy, that's 10% for every 12 months you did not have it. So, all right, I apologize again, as I do every single day, that I run out of time. We're at an hour. So, but I think I'll be back tomorrow, or if not the next day, and I'll do another video. And I think I'll talk about the $5,000 plus given out to 30-year-old engineers at Tesla or something like that. So I'm going to use their logic against them. Why lie when you got so many good places you can spend your time fixing? So I'm not sure. But anyway, well, I know why, but anyway. All right, y'all take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful